Welcome to the Middle-Raged podcast, where your hosts, Adam and Keith, get a bit cross about stuff that really doesn't matter. Bless them. Oh, and we should probably warn you that things can be a bit sweary at times.
Hello and welcome to this episode 22 of the Middle-Raged podcast with me, Keith A. Pearson, and my co-host, Adam Eccles. Good Sunday morning to you.
Good Sunday morning, yeah. Sunday morning.
We're giving up our time at church to be with you on this blessed day.
They'll miss me at church.
Will they?
No.
I know we're a bit obsessed with weather, I feel. I don't know if that's just a British thing.
An English thing, yes. Yeah. Well, it's Irish as well, for sure.
Okay.
Every single meeting at work starts with, how's the weather in your... Because we're all disparate, right? So we're in different places. It's like, oh, it's raining here, oh, it's sunny here. Okay.
Well, listen.
Get the weather report.
We need to talk very...
How is it in Surrey?
Well, we need to talk very quickly because we're about spring weather. I like spring as a season.
Yes.
Because you have blue sky, sunshine, but it's not oppressively hot.
Yeah. I think it's the best season.
Yeah. But it does create an issue, I find, with the choice of attire when you leave the house.
Okay.
Because it's deceptive, isn't it? I think spring weather is sneaky because you look out the window and think, oh, that looks warm out there.
It looks nice. Yeah.
And then you leave the house.
It can be a chill.
Yeah, yes. And you get like 100 yards and think, do I need a jacket or a coat? And then there's T-shirt or sweatshirt. It's the combinations.
I have a uniform, as you may have noticed. It's black jeans, black T-shirt. And that goes 365 days a year.
So this is not an issue?
Not really.
Okay.
I do have the coat or jacket, though, option.
Yeah.
And right now, I have retired the coat and I'm onto the lightweight jacket.
You've gone early.
Yes, because it's been fairly temperate over the last few weeks, and a big heavy coat is great for cold winter, but I was melting. So
yesterday I left the house to go to a football match with an early kickoff. So I left the house at about 11ish, and it was definitely coat, right? But the sun was shining, but there was quite a chilly breeze.
Yes.
Went to the football match, left the football match at sort of noonish, lunchtime-ish, and I had to walk back to my car, which was about a mile away, and I was pouring with sweat by the time I got there because the breeze had dropped, so you're just left with the sun. So this is the problem with spring. So even though it may be our preferred season, we can still find good cause to complain about it.
I mean, that's on brand, right?
Yeah.
That's always something. I'll tell you what the other problem is. If you're traveling in this sort of season, because the airport and everything is always going to be hot on the bloody plane, but then you get out of the plane and it's raining, and so you're already carrying stuff around the bloody airport. You don't want to carry a jacket. And of course, then if you're traveling with kids, you carry their jackets as well.
God.
You're the jacket carrier.
I think really what we can take away from this is just stay indoors.
I think so.
Just never leave the house.
Mainly what I do. That's just easier.
Okay. Right. That's our customary weather covered off.
Yes.
Do you mind if I have a little pre-rage rant? Because this one's still fresh for me, because it popped up this morning before we started. And
go
basically, what I've noticed, so I run like we both do, we have like Facebook pages for our respective authorly personas.
Yes.
And what I've noticed is an increasing number of scammers posting comments. So whenever a female reader posts a comment, not whenever, every time, but occasionally a female reader will post a comment about one of my books, and then one of these scammers will pop up. And I thought what would be interesting this morning is for us to just very quickly dissect this particular comment, and they're all fairly boilerplate. They're all sort of follow the same routine. But This particular one grabbed my attention because I'm wondering if this is, as scams go, right? If you're going to scam someone, and there must be a scam involved in this, right? This is not
definitely 100%,
genuine, but make some effort, right? So let's run through this. So firstly, this guy is called Glenn A. Goddard, right? And he's American. He's a former military vet, Marines, I guess, right? And his profile photo is this guy in a sort of American military outfit, right? So I guess that the scammers assume that's what appeals to women.
That's what women want. Yeah. Okay, good.
So let me read this out to you. I am really very impressed by your profile and personality. I also admire your good sense of humour here. You seem like a good woman and worth talking to. I wonder how many women feel validated by the likes of Glenn.
Yeah, I admire your good... I mean, obviously, this person's first language is not English.
Well...
That's what I mean.
Either that or they were a fucking moron.
Well, yeah. And what's with the full stop and then space and then two question marks and then another full stop and then no space?
I would say the vast majority of the women in my Facebook page are, they like books, obviously, right? So that would put them off right off the bat, I would imagine. The poor grammar. So he's fishing in the wrong pond for starters here. But I think that there must be, I mean, you can imagine all these women going, oh my God, I feel so worthless. But now, thank God, Glenn has come along to tell me that
thanks, Glenn.
I'm worth talking to.
You're worth talking to.
God, I'm so lucky.
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah. And anyway, so Glenn goes on to say, I don't usually write in the comment section, but I think you deserve this compliment.
Oh, good man.
Oh, Glenn, Glenn. You brought a bit of cheer to someone's day.
Romance is there.
Yeah. I would appreciate being a good friend, and I would be very happy if you could add me. Please click on my profile and send me a friend request. I love to see a request from you. Thanks, and stay safe. That feels very COVID times, doesn't it? Stay safe.
Yeah. This is an old bot. I feel dirty reading this.
Do you know what? Staying safe would be staying away from people like Glenn, I'm guessing.
Definitely. I'm actually guessing that Glenn doesn't exist. And it's some bot farm in India or Russia or wherever the fuck. And it's just... But I mean, I tell you... This is the sort of the bane of any social media thing, is that there's always going to be stuff like this happening. And you have to wonder, why do they bother? Because this is so clearly a scam.
Yeah.
Surely nobody's going to be...
not a good one, is it?
No, it's pathetic. It's and I mean, I don't know what they want at the end of this.
Money.
Yeah, must be, but it's a bit of a long game, isn't it? To go from add me as a friend to now send me all your money.
Well, listen, why it annoys me is because I have to go in and clear this shit up, right? Because I don't want, people who follow me on Facebook to have to put up with these pricks. So I make go around. I make a point of going in and deleting them and blocking them and that. But they're not. Honestly, they're just it's whack-a-mole with these arseholes. You delete one, but it's just I cannot believe in the history of the internet anyone has ever actually fallen. They must have done at some point, maybe. But
well, I mean, I wonder with these sort of scams and things, like how can they still persist and still be worth? I mean, because it's not completely free to run all this stuff. You've got to have something, even if it's not a human, it's a server and it's using electricity and internet and whatever. So it must. It must make a profit overall. Like if they send out 5 million of these and 3 people reply and whatever, or get scammed, it must somehow work out. But surely it's got to be massively diminished from the old days. like the Nigerian millionaire who.
I still get the odd one of them. I mean, who the fuck is sending out those emails? And there was another one doing the rounds. I think it was way back again in COVID times that, your device is infected. I have installed a Trojan and it has videoed you doing bad things on your webcam.
Yeah. Send money I mean, but that might actually have a better success rate than this. I'm really impressed by your profile.
It would do if I had a webcam on my PC.
yeah, exactly. I mean, oh dear, it's pathetic, isn't it? But yeah, I suppose. I mean, just in case anybody has never, woken up before today and realised, but pay attention to crap that comes to. It's not just this. Like them, you get. I actually did get scammed once. I wasn't paying attention. And I got caught, right? So what happened was, it was a good few Christmases ago, and
wait. Did you take a picture of your genitalia?
No,
okay, just to clear that up before we go.
Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. It was there was a load of stuff coming in the post, for Christmas presents, and quite frequently when that happens here, there's fucking import duty.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because bastard Brexit bollocks, right? So I was kind of expecting there to be, a message that required import duty to be paid, right? So I was doing something, I don't know, the kids were freaking out, whatever, and this message comes in, and I'm like, blah, 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 and I just clicked it through and paid it. And then later on, I was like, hang on a minute. And I looked back at it, and I was like, oh, fuck. That is not what it should have been. And it was a scam. So I immediately called my bank and they sorted it out, right? And it was definitely fraudulent. And they had immediately started buying casino coupons or whatever the hell they do, right? So I got my card blocked and it was all fine in the end.
I bet you felt like a right tit, though, for a while. Yes,
an absolute tit, yeah. But, and I'm a techie. And I preach about this stuff, and I still sometimes get caught, right? So, anytime one of these scammy texts come in, I make sure and tell the people in my life, watch out for this new scam. It's some crap that looks like it's real, and it even sometimes comes from where you expect it to come from. So, yeah.
I would stress as well that it's to sort of level things up, that men get like lots of scammy stuff like this as well.
Naked women.
Actually, we get quite a few via our contact form on the Middle Age website. So, we believe in equal opportunity for scammers. So
that's right.
Yeah. But men are a bit more base, aren't they? So this Glenn has clearly tried to use flattery because he thinks that's the way to a woman's heart, where a woman would just say, do you want to see my tits? And that seems to work.
Job done.
There's no long game there, is there?
No.
Tits?
No.
Yes, please. Come on in.
Yes,
give me your money.
Who's going to turn down tits? Fairness.
Right, so we move on to some
speaking of scams,
some more positive internet transactions. I believe somebody has bought us some coffees.
Nice. It's a nice chap called Adrian Letchford. Bought 3 coffees, and he says, until I listened to this pod, I thought I was the only one who got wound up by these things. At least that's what my wife told me. Everything that annoys me summed up with humour. So thank you very much, Adrian. And you're right. We are annoyed by the things, and always happy to prove a wife wrong.
100%.
That's that's the moral of the story. But much appreciated for your coffee donation. Thank you. And that's buymeacoffee.com/middle-aged if you want to join the ranks and ease the burden of our load here.
I think actually Adrian, is also an avid reader of our books. So
I believe so. Yes.
Yes, that's a double thank you to Adrian.
Indeed.
Okay, so do you think we should just crack straight on and talk about this week's Rage Point?
Good idea.
Okay, no, actually, sorry, I've just cut something from our... yeah.
Oh, yes, there's the catch-up thing. All right, this will be very quick. So this week in Stupid Ideas... here in Ireland, where it's mostly rural, where I am anyway, we have a huge tank in the garden full of kerosene.
Not a military tank for those who are confused temporarily.
Big I mean, sometimes, I suppose.
There's a coup starting in Adam's garden.
In the 80s. Anyway, we'll skip over that. But yeah, an oil tank full of kerosene, and it powers a boiler which powers the heat and water heating for your house, right? Not everywhere has this, but it's quite common. And you buy the heating oil via, either ringing up your local dealer of oil and they bring it in a huge truck and pump it into your thing. Or, in my case, I have an app where I can just order it on the phone and it just comes a few days later and job done, right? So there was an app update the other day and I just thought this was utterly bizarre. I'll read it out. So you can now buy and manage your Coroboil gift cards in the app. Use your gift card to pay for heating oil, fuel, goods or services at any participating oil outlet. And just can you imagine? Happy Christmas, Grandma. I've got you a heating oil
voucher.
That
said, right, okay, with the cost of domestic fuel, I would imagine there'd be quite a few people who'd be very happy to have a bloody utility gift card.
I mean, yeah, but like, when you buy the oil, it's like 500-600 quid. That's the thing. It's it lasts months, but it's a chunk outlay. But I mean, like it just feels really weird to be buying. Oh, treat her to a lovely oil gift card. And you're like, oh, Jazz will be warm tonight.
I can't imagine the emotion that would pour out of someone opening an envelope and withdrawing this gift card. For me? Oh, you shouldn't have.
Oh, just what I always wanted. I mean, at that stage, just give them 50 quid, right? The thing is,
it's not even a practical... I suppose it is practical at one point, but it's going to run out, isn't it? And then...
Oh, yeah.
It's the gift that is short-lived.
I can't imagine you're going to give someone the gift of five. I mean, unless it's somebody very close, 500-600 quid. That's your whole fuel tank sorted for months.
If you turn it around right and say, you imagine if they actually physically unwrapped like a litre of oil.
Ooh.
Go on, you spill yourself. Pour that all in. Turn the heating up a notch. You deserve it.
For an hour. Yeah. God. And it stinks. If you ever had to prime a boiler and this stuff pours out, it absolutely stinks and you can't get it off you for ages. So, yeah, if you are going to give the gift of kerosene, make sure the bottle is tightly done up.
Oh, dear.
Anywho, I mean, I just thought, like, seriously, the clutching at straws at these places to try and think, oh, how can we get people buying oil? I mean, like, it's like in the old days they used to advertise, and maybe they still do, electricity and gas.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's already coming to my house. What do you want me to do? Like, I use it when I need it. It's not like, oh, go and turn a few lights on. Put the oven on, love. Just for not cooking. Just
that's a weird one, isn't it? When you think about it, I've never sort of thought too deeply. But I would say, actually, though, if Coroboil wished to sponsor the podcast, we will take your filthy dollar.
Yeah, why not? Stinky kerosene dollars.
Yeah, we don't care. We're not fussy. Well, but we are, aren't we? I
suppose we're very fussy. But
I mean, if they're resorting to gift cards, then they're obviously scraping the barrel of promotional ideas.
Yeah, it's
So sponsoring a podcast is probably.
pressed the wrong button there.
Don't do that.
Yes, I would say that's a step up. I think anybody listening, if you want some kerosene, maybe they have what's the thing where you recommend people and you get a pushback?
Oh, like an affiliate scheme.
Yes, maybe they have an affiliate scheme, so we'll get everyone go buy their.
How many litres of oil do you think Corrib would sell if they were to sponsor the podcast?
Oh, I'd say tens of thousands.
Okay, good, right.
So, it's got to be worthwhile, surely.
There we are. Come on, Corrib oil, get your people with our people. Sit down.
Good.
Let's talk numbers.
Yeah, let's do it.
This week brought to you by Corrib oil. Right, should we move on?
Let's move on.
Right,
so
this week's rage point, and this we are going to make a multi-parter, I believe.
I think so,
because
there's a lot of rage.
It does cover a lot, and essentially this is social etiquette, right? So this is the behavior of other humans that we interact with on a daily basis, and essentially their complete lack of awareness that they have to share this planet with other people, and their actions, their behaviors may inconvenience, irritate, or just generally piss us off, but they still do it, right?
Yeah. Maybe they even do it more so because of that. Yeah,
possibly.
So yes, that is it, and I think that's it. The nub of it is that they maybe don't care or are completely unaware, and I do think that this is more prevalent in the current era than perhaps it was
100% more. Worse, far worse than it ever was. If you just take the basic premise of littering, right? Okay, which I think is one of the most socially unacceptable things that someone can do. Like somebody who throws litter out of their car, okay?
Yeah, that's
right. I mean, back in the day, right, there was campaigns on TV, wasn't there, right? To and it was actually seen as a and a distinctly antisocial thing to do. You don't see adverts for littering anymore, right? It's like, well, people are just going to do it. And of course, now the prevalence of fast food is way, way higher than coffees and things.
Oh, yeah.
So there's
always a bloody coffee cup or a burger wrapper or whatever somewhere, isn't
always.
There?
So, and that I think is a benchmark because there was some sort of element of civic pride and there was less crap around and people weren't going out for coffee or, getting food bloody on the fly all the time. So it's created a new generation of people who are just inconsiderate with their litter. And they think, well, it's okay, I bung it out of my car, so it's not causing me a problem now.
Yeah.
But it's causing someone else a problem, right?
Yeah, and it's nasty. And do you want to see that? I mean, like, you want to live in shit, then,
Well, I think that's our sort of benchmark, isn't it? That really sets up the scene for where we're going to be going with this lack of social etiquette.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to start with a phone section. Now, so I remember getting a mobile phone in the early 90s, and almost being kind of ashamed to have it because it was. I'm a techie, right? That's why I had it, right? That was one of the first things I bought when I became able to afford things, and it was a novelty. And I remember it ringing when I was at the supermarket and being super embarrassed. But fast forward, 30 something years, and phones are ubiquitous and just. It would be weird now for an adult to not have one, right? And so the world has changed. But so what the number one thing here that pisses me off about this is when people are walking around in public with their phone on speaker. having a conversation, loudly blasting out their, and they're, either in the supermarket or in a shopping environment or on a train. That is probably the most offensive, on the bloody train. What are you doing? You're broadcasting your conversation, both sides of your conversation, which is, usually irrelevant. Nobody wants to hear your dirty laundry.
Why? What is the benefit of I don't understand why you would do that. Do you think they think that there's some sort of issue with having a phone to their head? Is this sort of urban myth about it's going to cause brain rot or something?
I didn't think of that, but I can't imagine they care. Because
I can't think of any reason for doing that from a practical perspective. It's harder to hear someone, surely.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, phones have an earpiece and a microphone, and I actually think that the speakerphone function should be disabled on phones, because there's no need for that. You can plug in headphones, or you can have wireless headphones, and that will. I'm
going to have to push back there, because I listen to my podcast a lot on my phone that way when I'm wandering around the house.
Okay, but that's not in public.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't sit on a train. Actually, that's a good way. We could do that. We could sit on a train. I mean, not together, obviously. That would be weird. But just have the pod playing on speaker, and people and all the other our fellow travellers go, "Oh, that sounds good."
That's a new marketing method. How much does a train ticket cost?
Here's the rub. We need a lot of coffees. Yes. I will say I got a train to London recently, and that was £31.50 return. Right,
Jesus.
It is now gone past the point where, we're talking. I think it's 29 miles the distance.
Right.
Yeah.
So more than £1 a mile.
Yeah. I mean, it's a return, so I suppose you could argue you're going there and back, so it's like 50p a mile. But
even so, I once flew to London for €14.
It's insane. It is. I know we've ranted. We're going off piste again. I know we've ranted about train fares before, but come on, just it's.
You see these articles all the time where somebody from say from Edinburgh, right? You want to go down to London or somewhere. It is much cheaper to fly.
Significantly, yeah.
Just like, how does that make any sense? That's what has happened to the train, seriously. But yes, anyway, so get back on.
Yes. That was a terrible pun.
Oh dear, I didn't get that.
It wasn't intentional, thank God for that.
Oh, pun not intended. Right. Christ. Yes, so speakerphone conversations in public, I just don't get it. Oh, and what they do as well is, you see them, they're holding their phone flat in front of them on the palm of their hand, and sort of talking into it. And just like, that is so weird. And yet, a lot of people do it, and I don't get it. I would never do that. If I had to I try and avoid having phone conversations in public at all. I mean, and even if I'm on a work meeting or something, I will go somewhere more private, like or sit in the car or go into an alcove or something, and just try. People who walk around oblivious and do that, that's again another thing. But holding the phone flat in front of you, walking around I just don't get it. So stop doing that, please.
Okay, right. If anyone does do that and you're offended, email Adam at
whatever it is. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can tell me why that's preferential to conducting your business in a private way.
I'm going to go. I'm going to stick to my my theory that people do think that they're having a phone next to their head is going to fry their brain.
Well, okay. Use headphones then.
Yes, maybe That's the way to go. But I've got a feeling that this is not the least of your issues regarding social etiquette and phones.
No, it gets worse. So if you're on the train,
yes,
or in some other kind of transport, I suppose bus or something like that, and people start playing their music, and I'm putting inverted commas around this music because the people who tend to do this are not playing music that I would ever want to listen to in any circumstance.
We're talking about younglings here, aren't we, primarily?
I think we are, yes.
Yeah.
Young types. And honestly, what you think is music, I know this is cliched. I'm really old now, aren't I?
Yeah.
But I do listen to new music now. There's a
getting down with the kids.
But not the pop shit that they or rap or whatever the fucking hell it is. I really, it's just awful. But again, if you're in a public situation, especially on a train where people might be trying to chill out and just maybe even get some work done or something like that, and they start blasting out this awful trash. Seriously,
you don't get right like people our age blasting out ELO or David Essex, do you?
Oh.
This is a generational thing.
Definitely, yeah. No, I mean, maybe I should start retaliating and blast out, Am I Dying Bride or Cradle of Filth or something. I'm going to go
Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
I think that would be good. You know what? If we did that, I think people would appreciate it,
Maybe. I think I'd get kicked off the train.
But at least you'd be listening to something worth listening to, yes. Right?
Well, there's the other, the other point here is that I'm a sort of an audio nerd and very fussy about, as you know, from the microphones and everything, right? And listening to music, even if it's good, on the shitty tinny little speaker that your phone has, why are you doing? What's the point? I'd rather not have anything on because it's just going to sound awful. So speak again, headphones. Or,
or don't.
If you're going to go crazy. Remember when people used to carry around the big ghetto blaster things?
Actually, no, you think back, that was deeply antisocial.
It was, yeah.
But you had the... you were
big speakers, though.
Safe in the knowledge that the batteries would last no more than about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
They would drain batteries like nothing on it.
Yeah. Big, massive lump of a thing. Christ, I haven't thought about those for ages.
Are we allowed to say ghetto blaster still? Is that socially unacceptable?
I mean, I don't know. What's the other term?
I think there are terms that we would definitely not use in this podcast for fear of cancellation.
That's right. Well, I
think they were actually called a portable stereo system. But
that's boring.
Yeah, it is boring. But I remember how I got one for my 13th birthday, and it was a Samsung.
Right.
I loved that thing, but it never left the house.
Right, exactly. I mean, I had a Walkman or equivalent, whatever it was, and I loved that thing, right? But again, that played it on headphones into my ears.
Those big squishy orange sponge things.
That's the ones.
Yeah. Even then, the batteries would, you wouldn't get a lot out of one of those, would you, battery-wise?
And, when you are 13, trying to get your dad to buy batteries, it's a fucking hard sell, that is.
It's the kind of thing you forget about now, isn't it? Not having money as an adolescent and a child.
Yeah.
And you remember thinking, oh, my God, I just cannot wait. I cannot wait to have a job so I'll be able to buy my stuff.
Yes.
And then, like, the second week of a job, you're like, yeah, this is a fucking scam.
Yeah. And here we are 30-something years later, still caught in the scam. Bloody hell. That's another rant, right?
Yeah.
Definitely work is definitely a scam. But anyway,
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes. So another rage point here for sure, right? Have you ever been in a public bathroom, public toilet, anywhere at work or in a train station or somewhere, and somebody decides to continue having a conversation on their phone in the toilet?
Yeah, I knew you were going to go with this one.
Oh.
This happened to me fairly recently, to be honest, and I thought someone was talking to me. This was at a urinal, a fucking guy having a piss, and he starts talking on his phone with his chap in his hand. I mean,
that's just wrong.
I mean, it's wrong on every single. I mean, from a hygiene level for starters. But if you're going to drop your phone, right, that is the last. But it was one of those troughs, not like a single urinal. It's one of these troughs.
No. No. I mean, that's the phone's dead after that point.
Yeah, I mean, there's no coming back from that, is it? That's toast. So, I mean, that I thought was weird. But just when it took me a second to realise he wasn't talking to me, and he did because he had his arm up. But because obviously, etiquette being what it is, when you're in one of these trough environments or even the standalone, you're staring at the wall, right? You're not looking anywhere.
Do not turn left or right. Do not pass go.
So, of course, when I just heard, him start talking, it took a couple of seconds for my brain to go, okay, well, he's not talking to me. And I sort of glanced left, and he was, I could see his arm was cocked. Right. That was wrong choice of word. But it's
but come on, I mean, you can't wait a minute, or I'll call you back, mate, I've just got to go for a piss. That's all it takes. I can't believe that it's pleasant for anybody, because guess what, public toilets, they've got those hand dryers, right? Then the Dyson ones, they're really, really loud.
I'd say like an A380 on takeoff, some of them.
Yeah, unbelievable. So I always make sure, if I encounter somebody talking on the phone in the toilets, I always make sure to trigger the hand dryer frequently, because that'll fucking teach you a lesson. Stop talking. It's not the correct place to have a conversation.
I think people also fail to appreciate the acoustics.
Oh yeah.
Because of
very
all
much.
That it sounds so much louder, doesn't it? Because the voice is sort of reverberating off these tiled surfaces everywhere, and echoing. So you can but you think you might be sat in who's defecating in public anyway? But if you're in a stall and you're talking, you might think you're talking in a normal sort of fairly quiet voice, but you're not, right? We can hear you.
No. Yeah, for sure.
Sidebar, why is there so much gappage around a toilet?
Oh, yeah. That is weird, isn't it? In America, I've noticed that the door gap is even worse.
Really?
To the point where,
this is concerning.
To the point where it's maybe 2 or 3 feet of nothing.
No.
And I was in a bathroom in America, in a restaurant in America, and they're basically the door was almost non-existent. It's just
what is that about? Is there a shortage of door making material or something?
I don't know what the reasoning here is. Yeah, but it's well in UK and Ireland you probably get 4-inch gap at the bottom, maybe something like that, right? And I think that's so. If somebody's in there and, I don't know, they're not coming out that you can see or something, I don't know exactly what the reason is. Why would you want to see into a fucking toilet?
But why do you want to? It's just awful for everyone, right? I mean, notwithstanding somebody who's having a phone conversation while they're taking a dump, right? Which we don't want to hear. We don't want to hear anything, right?
No, don't want to hear it.
While you're in there, you would rather, I'm guessing, most people would rather not advertise what they're up to, right?
No. This should be soundproof booths, completely sealed.
Hermetically sealed. Yeah, nothing can get in, nothing can get out. Almost like a vacuum.
Yeah. You do your business. You go in, you take a deep breath, you do your business and get out.
Yeah, preferably under the cloak of anonymity, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
God forbid.
I don't understand that as, and I'm now, I'm heading to the United States soon. I'm now slightly concerned about.
I would be
public
bring
restrooms.
Bring some kind of pop-up cubicle.
Oh dear. Okay, I'll just carry a bucket and a pop-up thing around with me.
I think so. That'd be safest method.
Good to know.
But anyway, all right, we're going a bit longer,
Yes.
so I'll speed it up a bit. So there's also people who walk around in the street on their phone, as in typing or doing something or whatever. Not talking onto it now, just
Staring.
looking at the screen, staring at it, yeah. And consequently, they don't know where they're going, and they walk into people, objects, under cars, whatever, right? Or out, and come on, lads. You can live without it for a few minutes while you walk between place to place, right? I'm not talking about, the occasional text. If I am walking around and I need to respond to something, I will stop walking.
Step out of the pavement.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walk over to the side, out of the way of people, like a normal fucking human should, and respond to your text, because I have to, take my glasses off so that I can see the phone. So it's not a straightforward operation. Got to do the whole thing. So yes, and as well, if I'm pushing a trolley around Tesco's or something, right, and I need to respond to a text, or I need to check my shopping list, which is on the phone, I will make sure to get the trolley out of the way of the aisle, to a safe location, pull over, put the indicators on.
That's, as you've now just highlighted one area that I hadn't really considered until now, and this is people who are talking to clearly a partner in the supermarket about something on a shelf, right? So they're basically looking for something, and somebody on the other end is describing it. I don't know, maybe they can't remember the brand or whatever. And these people are completely oblivious. So they've normally got their trolley up against the shelves, so you can't get at anything. Yeah. And they're not paying attention either.
No. Just completely blocking your either the aisle or the area of which you want to go and get. I just want to pick something off a shelf, but there's a prick there standing
looking for organic nutmeg or something, but they haven't got the certain brand.
And having a big conversation about it, and take a photo of the shelf, send it to your partner, and then move away.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell you what to buy.
We do not need, right, as a society, to know that your evening is ruined because there is no organic quinoa, okay?
Yeah.
We don't give a shit, all right?
I don't even know what that is.
Me neither. So. Nor do I want to.
It's something weird.
Yeah.
But okay.
That's the most middle class thing I can think of.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but if you go to more middle class supermarkets, this is the kind. It's not.
Okay. It's not laundry detergent anymore.
No.
It's some sort of alfalfa sprouts or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Shall
we move on to phase 2?
Okay.
We're calling it phase 2 of many, which will come down the pipe at some point.
Yes.
And this one, I think, is everyone can relate to, and this is driving. The lack of social etiquette when it comes to driving, I think, is off the scale, because people are locked in their little cocoons and they think they can act like utter pricks and get away with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a big one. Yeah.
I mean, we could have probably done an entire episode on this one, but I thought we'd just sort of touch on the highlights, right? And if at least one of these doesn't boil your piss, then what are you doing, right?
Maybe you don't drive in that case.
Yeah, it could be that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to kick off with my first one, which is the one that irritates me beyond all other, and that is people who don't indicate when to signify they're coming off a roundabout, right? So you're sat there and or you're approaching a roundabout yourself and the car's coming around and you stop because you're assuming it's coming around, and then they didn't indicate, so they pull off to the junction before. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I know it's like 4 or 5 seconds out of my life because I've got to slow the car down, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, well, it's.
But all you had to do was flick an indicator stalk. That's it, right? You wouldn't have even thought about it. It would have taken you no time at all.
It's sort of just, you don't think about it now. It just happens, right? Like, you ever been driving somewhere and you're just listening to a pod or something, and you get to where you're going and you're like, oh.
I have no recollection. I killed 7 people, but hey.
Yeah. But signalling is just part of driving. And
not for some people, it seems.
Yes, that is annoying. However, I have learned not to trust those indicators.
Well, no, that's a valid point, yeah.
Yeah, like some people are just indicating for 7 miles in front of you, indicating left the whole time, and you're like, "When are you gonna?" Yeah, no,
you ever done that? You've been behind somebody on a motorway and they're indicating, and they've been indicating for 5-10 minutes, so you think, I don't want to get anywhere near that person because something tells me they're not.
Their car is shit, or they're not paying. Look, because it's going tick 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 tick, and you can. It's flashing on the thing. Like, how are you not seeing that?
Yeah,
are you asleep?
That is not somebody you want to be driving past at 70 odd miles an hour, is it? Or driving near at 70 miles an hour? No.
Yeah. Pull off, get a cup of coffee, and then go back when they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good life rule, I would say. So the next one, so you go to a car park, right? And supermarket car parks are a good one. And I think we've both agreed, haven't we? We've talked about this, that we would park as far away from the entrance as possible because you're not likely to get some dickhead parked right next to you.
Yeah. So you can't. Yeah, it's just. Number one, I don't want my paint bashed because they will bang your door. And number two, they park so close that you can't actually get out. This is
what happens, though, isn't it? This is the thing where you will park somewhere. Maybe it's a busy day or whatever, and you have to park. Even the furthest corners of the car park are still busy,
jammed. Yeah.
So you will park perfectly well, equidistant between the 2 white lines, right? And then what happens is that you go in, you do your shopping, someone comes back and they've parked sort of 8 inch, so their tyres are almost touching the white line next to your car.
Yes.
To the point where you almost, for a minute, consider having to get in the passenger seat to crawl across because it is so tight. Or you've got to do some sort of limbo, sort of contortion, because you're paranoid about scratching someone else's car. They clearly don't give a shit.
Yeah, you don't want to touch their car at all with your arse.
Yeah, because it's normally filthy,
anything.
Right?
Yeah,
because these people are inconsiderate and lazy, I'm going to go with.
It's not even necessarily that their car is too big. It's just that they have parked like a twat.
Yeah. They know that their poor parking is going to make somebody else's life more difficult because you cannot reverse into a bay or drive into a bay and not look at that and go, oh, okay, my wheels are literally touching the white lines. That's and there's like 2 feet the other side, 3 feet, whatever.
Yeah, that's a real fuck.
They've thought about it and they know and they walk off.
They don't care. Yeah,
clearly not caring.
If I ever accidentally do that, and I always look back at the car to make sure it's locked. And if I see, Jesus, I parked really badly there, I'll just go and move it. Because it takes 3 seconds.
And equally, I'm paranoid about cars getting knocked. So I wouldn't want to increase that risk by parking like a dickhead. But clearly, people don't care.
They seem to not care, yeah. I mean, those white lines are sometimes a bit tight and maybe they're a bit faded and stuff, but come on.
I think it should be lawful that you can let down their tyres. Anyone who parks too close, you should be able to just get out and go, well, okay, fair dues, I can let your tyres down now because you've inconvenienced me, so I can now inconvenience you. Maybe 1 tyre, right?
Okay, that's not too bad. Yeah,
I
keep a pumpy thing in the car,
just something to give them a little bit of their own medicine.
Yes.
You've inconvenienced me. You've made me put my back out trying to get into my own car. So I'm going to inconvenience you now. It's pissing me around. You've got to blow your tyre up. I think that should be a thing. I really do.
Should, yeah. Why not?
Okay. Do you know what we should do? We should set up like some sort of citizens' charter of rules and laws that we think would. I think most people would buy into.
I reckon, yeah. I mean, if we ever run for government, I think we'll definitely got the support of a good chunk of the population.
Oh, 100%.
But
so littering,
let's change things.
Just on that one, I think. This is where you need to bring back public stocks, in the towns, in the village town square.
Yes.
So if you get caught littering, you are put in those stocks and people are allowed to, I mean, not house bricks or bottles, but,
eggs and cabbages. And
like, I don't know, rotten tomatoes. Yeah, something that's not going to cause any serious injury. But yeah, I think I think most people will be behind that, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, somebody would be behind you. Don't know what they're doing.
As an extra punishment. If they're second offenders, you get pegged. Actually, some people would probably like that, so we don't want to encourage that.
No.
God, I don't know how we got down there. But yes, so I think at some point we may have to create a citizens' charter with various, the middle-aged charter of crimes that are punishable by, I don't know.
Humiliation of some kind.
Yeah. Or karma related. So, you parked too close to my car, I can now let your tyre down, and that's perfectly lawful.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that's on the to-be-written list, along with about 900 other books.
If you would like to support this new charter, then drop us a line and buy us a
What's
coffee.
that thing called? The website where you can get people to Kickstarter. There you go.
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh well, there's a one about petitions as well. Isn't there?
Yes.
Can't remember what that one is, but yeah.
I don't know if petitions make any difference. Do
no,
they?
Of course not. Nobody gives a shit. And people who sign them in inverted commas. It's just they don't even read it. It's all of that thing is scam. Yeah.
Right. So back to so this. I don't think this is contentious. You may disagree, but it's when you're at a junction, right, and somebody's turning right, and you're turning right out of that junction, and they could stop and they've got to stop anyway and wait for cars to come down. They could let you out, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because they're already stationary, waiting to turn right.
I see what you mean, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're waiting.
And you're turning right. So it makes no difference for them to wave you through.
Right, yeah.
But they don't.
Yeah.
They will, as soon as their way's clear, they will off they go. And then you've got to wait for the queue of cars that's built up behind them.
Yeah.
I feel this would have been better with a diagram. Which I'm not sure works particularly well on a podcast, but
no,
I'm sure people know what I mean.
Though, yeah, that is mean. Yeah, like if you are in a position to let somebody out and it doesn't affect you, then you should let them out.
Yeah. I have such a junction very close to my house, so this happens to me probably once or twice a week, and I will glare at these bastards, right? And do you know what? They know what they've done because they avoid eye contact, right?
They'll learn.
They won't look at you because they know that what they've done is a horrendous act of selfishness.
Yeah.
I'm probably over-egging this a little bit, but it does irritate the fuck out of me.
One day you'll end up in the same shop as they went to. And you'll be able to confront them.
I will. Yeah, I'm taking down number plates now. Compiling a list.
Yeah. I know, you can put some sort of weird thing into their shopping trolley. Like lube and vegetables. Something like that.
Root vegetables.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too dark on this, but I suspect if I wanted to write thrillers, right? Novels. I would do something along the lines of a guy like this who just does collate information and then like a serial killer who murders people for this type of sort of fairly low-key social sort of rudeness. But he gets so narked by it that eventually he just snaps and he starts literally murdering people. Yeah, for these sort of crimes.
I think a lot of people would see his point.
Yeah.
So
there's I don't know if you remember, there was a movie with Michael Douglas called Falling Down.
Oh,
Remember that? Where,
brilliant movie.
Yeah, he just has a succession of shit happening in his day, and he just breaks. And goes around.
He loses his shit.
Yeah.
That is an excellent movie. Yes, highly recommended.
Definitely. But we all have that. So maybe that's now 901 books that I would like to write. A guy who just loses it and goes around and becomes a serial killer purely because of parking issues and inconsiderate people at junctions.
Absolutely.
Definitely. But be warned, who knows? In this day and age, people are very angry and...
well, that's it, yeah.
So, let people out at junctions.
Yeah, you never know if they're carrying a weapon.
Yes.
Especially in America.
Talking of weapons, so school-run parents, okay, if we're going to be talking about inconsiderate parking and social etiquette... What goes on in people's heads when they're dropping their little darlings off at school? I do not know, because it seems that all rules go out the window.
Yeah.
And it could be that maybe just people are rushing around in the morning and they don't have time, or they are just inconsiderate.
Well, it's here in rural Ireland, it's obviously quite a thing, right? Because the school is probably... just along a road. It doesn't necessarily have a car park. And a lot of people are being driven to school because either there's no bus or they live miles away or whatever, right? And so, the amount of cars outside any school in the morning is horrific. And it is like a war zone. And then you've got the yummy mummies who probably got up at 4 a.m. to start doing their glamour ritual. And, I take the kids into school and you have to walk through this fog of perfume and, hair stuff and just makeup. And they're like, they're all just, what are you doing? It's 9 a.m. or 8:50 or whatever. And you look like you just stepped out of the salon and you're dripping with perfume.
Was that an advert? I'm sure there was an advert that said, look like you've just stepped out of the salon.
That's exactly what those are those people.
Okay.
But what are you trying to impress? Not me, for sure. But yummy mummies.
I have no issue with said humans because, at the end of the day, it is better than the alternative where people just don't give a shit and they turn up in their pajamas, right? Okay. At least these people got up, had a shower and put clothes on, whereas nowadays it seems that it's acceptable to drop your kids up at school wearing pajamas or a dressing gown and slippers.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. This is a thing nowadays.
Oh.
So I'm going to have to back up that I would rather have the people who gave a shit. But more so, I mean, ultimately, I don't care. You can turn up wearing you can turn up wearing nothing if you like. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just do not leave your car outside someone's driveway or blocking someone's driveway or on a verge where your bloody 4x4 has torn up a grass verge or it is. I do, and maybe it is this thing, right, where they just can't seem to walk any distance now, and everyone has to park, within 50 feet of the gates.
Yeah, but that really pisses me off, right? Because even at the supermarket, right, there's a sort of a pick up and drop area right outside the door, like literally 10 feet away. But everyone seems to think that's the car.
They can park there, yeah. That again is not inconsiderate.
It's got to the point sometimes where there's so many cars there that now you actually can't push your trolley out to where the real car park is because then you have to go around the long way. And
This is how we end up with traffic wardens, right? Because people can't follow the rules. And I would never want any further form of, bureaucracy or bloody do-goody, these sort of... But I do think if you can't, those spots are for somebody to pick someone up, right? Or drop someone off. So you should be there for no more than 2 minutes, tops.
Exactly.
If you're using that as a space to go and do your shopping just because you're lazy, again, we should be able to let your tyres down.
Oh, 100%. That is 100% let the bloody tyres down. Like, I reckon it's to the point where if there was a drive-through Tesco, you could just reach out the window and grab bananas and onions and whatever. People would do that because it seems like they just literally want to park in the door. I mean, it's not. I mean, I can understand it if it's blowing a gale and pissing with rain, but this is on a nice day where it's just there's no reason to be so lazy that you can't walk. Another 50 feet?
I remember the first time I went to America and I discovered they had drive-through banks.
Oh yeah.
That kind of blew my mind.
I've seen those. I've seen a drive-through liquor store.
Really?
Like, yeah. I think you just order at the window and then they probably put it in your trunk because obviously you're not allowed to have booze in the car area, in the cabin area.
I can see some merit in that, right? Because, okay. If you're ordering like a lot, right, like a couple of crates of lager, beer, whatever, right, you don't want to be lugging that shit too far, do you? So I'm gonna say I can see that there's some merit in that.
But bear in mind that American beer is disgusting.
Okay, well, we can sidebar that. We can sidestep that. But I can understand it.
Yeah.
But banking, I mean, it's...
Banking, and I've seen like pharmacies, drive-through pharmacy.
Yeah, but again, maybe they've got it right because you will think back to our very first episode when you were ranting about your pharmacy waiting times.
That's right, yeah. But you don't want to be sat in the drive-through queue for 20 minutes.
Well, I'm assuming that wouldn't work. So there has to be a very speedy process. Otherwise, all your cars would back up, wouldn't they? So therefore, the whole process, probably minutes.
Okay. That's worth looking into in that case.
Okay. So but you've got to give the Americans a pat on the back for that one.
Yeah.
There's probably, I'm going to guess, there's also probably a drive-through gun shop.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We have American listeners.
Yes.
Let us know what the most ridiculous drive-through you've been to is.
Oh yes, I would be very interested in hearing that.
Yeah, like I don't know. Can you buy
drive-through brothel
in Vegas?
What would you call that?
There is one in
Rub and go, come and go, come and go, go and come. No,
come and go.
I'm so sorry.
Go and come. Come and come.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
Right. Oh, dear. Look, anyway, so very good. Well, I think we've gone a bit long.
Yeah, we should probably wrap that bit up and should we deal with some... ironically, we now have to actually have some happy endings.
Oh, dear. Right. Okay.
So, what has got you chipper this week?
Oh dear. Well, so I have on a disappointing note, sort of lost my muse for writing lately, and I haven't made much progress with writing for a while. And I've learned that that's okay, and I just need to get back into it at some point, and that will happen, and I'll get back on the horse, as it were. But in the meantime, I always need to have something going on, and so I won't say exactly what it is, but this might there'll be a very narrow part of the audience where this makes you excited. Right? I have in the past been known to sort of do some game development, just mostly for fun. I thought about, I tried to do it years and years ago.
Sorry, I didn't catch. Game, did you say gay or game? Game. I don't know why in my head I heard something else.
Dear me. No. Game.
Yes, right.
As in, phone games.
Right. So you're not
basically.
developing your sexuality. That's right. Okay. So right, back on the right path now. Okay. So
that's all on point.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. No. So years ago, I made a couple of games and I released them. And I thought, sort of naively, that they would make money. They made absolutely no money whatsoever. Fair enough. And I moved away from that and got into writing, and that did so. So that's that. But I just like. Call me a weirdo, but I actually like doing a bit of programming because it's fun and it's quite rewarding when you do finally get the thing that you're trying to do to actually work, and your little dude or whatever. Actually, goes and does the animation and it all works, right? So it's fun, and I am midst. There's a lot of work yet to do, a ton of work yet to do, right? But I probably will end up releasing another game at some point. I won't give a timeline because
you don't.
Yeah, silly to do that, right? But and I believe that people who let's say, have read my books will probably appreciate it.
Okay, intriguing.
So we'll leave it at that for now, and
I do hear. I used to write games in BASIC back in the day,
right?
And I do remember staying up all night on one occasion because I got so engrossed in it.
I know. Yeah, it was like 2 a.m. last night, and I was like, "Oh shit, I need to go."
It's if you want time to fly. I mean, it does sound super nerdy, this, doesn't it? But
I know, but
I think it's back in the day, it wasn't complicated to write in BASIC. I mean, the clue's in the name,
true.
right?
Yes.
This is the language for most home computers ran on back then, wasn't it?
64,
Sinclair's, Amstrads, the whole lot. So it was. You didn't need to be like, a mega nerd, right? You didn't need to, you could learn BASIC fairly easily. I mean, everyone would do it. You'd go into Curry's, wouldn't you? And they'd have a PC set up and you'd 10 print knob and then 20 go to 10.
Yeah. And then walk away.
Yeah, everyone did that. So it was a fairly simple thing, but it was, do you know what? I'm going to go on a limb and say if it wasn't for my parents, getting me a computer at that age, I would have gone down a very different path life-wise because, that kept me on the straight and narrow.
Well, to be honest, I was always into that. And I remember going to school when I was, 8, 9 years old and going early into school deliberately to do some programming. I mean, we had computers at home as well because my dad we had a computer shop back in those days, but for some reason I also wanted to program at school on the BBC,
Ah, yes, the BBC microphone.
Yeah. So, but I didn't pursue that as a career and went into cooking instead. And
obviously, natural progression.
And I go back and forth on whether that was a good idea or not, and because I don't have formal education in programming, that stuff, but, my job has been tech for 2 decades at least or more. And, it's worked out okay anyway. And I think that if I had learnt programming as it was in the early 90s, what use is that now? Very
the thing is, you would have evolved with it, wouldn't you?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, the basic concepts are always there, right? So I suppose it would have. But the qualifications themselves would be fairly worthless at this stage. But anyway, either way,
to suck it up.
I didn't, and that's what happened. And I just like doing it. So it's like it's for fun, really. It just takes my mind off everything else.
This is again one of those things I'm going to say that's going to sound just a bit tossy, but anything that just keeps your mind. It's like reading, isn't it? You can't think about negative crap when you're reading because you've got to focus. So anything that can take your mind away from worrying about the future or the past or any of that shit. It's essentially what meditation is, isn't it? You're just thinking about now.
Right.
Anything that puts you in that space where you're just in that moment is good for you, because it just blocks out all the noise that.
Yes, it's. So I reckon for me, programming is my meditation.
Very good, very good. With less finger symbols and.
Oh yeah,
right.
There is a lot of swearing. I have to.
Okay, good. Well, whatever works for you, mate.
Yes. All right. Well, what worked for you this week?
Well, I released my 20th. No, I didn't. I released my 19th novel called The Fourth Clause, and this one was like, I've mentioned this so many times, I'm getting bored of myself with it, but it was a real pain in the arse to finish, but I finished it, and thank God, right, the feedback has been positive, because it's when you write a book, you put it out there and you can only hope, right? You think you've done a good job, and you think that people will laugh at certain things and they'll enjoy the story and the characters, but you don't know until it sort of lands. So it's a relief, a massive relief, just to sort of get, because this book was a real strain to finish. To actually get some validation, and you sort of think, oh my God, it's like all of that grief of getting the thing out there, and suddenly people are going, oh, it was worth all that grief, because people seem to enjoy it.
For sure. Absolutely. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So, if you haven't already, pick up The Fourth Clause.
Probably best to read the first one.
Yes, it's book 2, isn't it? So what was the other one
No
called?
Easy Deeds. And what I've learned from this as well is that realistically, you don't want to be releasing books with a sort of fairly, I won't say complicated, but sort of, it's a time travel novel. So there's stuff going on that even I had to go back and read the first book and keep referring to it, because weirdly, time travel is quite complicated.
It's bloody complicated, yeah. You can get easily distracted and do something that you shouldn't be doing, or somebody's doing something that they didn't do,
exactly,
or whatever. Yeah, it's really hard to keep a track of time.
Here's the thing as well that I didn't, and this is, people may not appreciate this, right? Because when we talk about the editing process, people think you're just looking for typos and the like, right?
Oh, no.
But here's that one thing where you put a character entered a house, he pushed open the front door, right? And then a book later, he pulled open that same door. It's silly little things like...
It's a swing door.
Well, that's the kind of thing that someone will pick up on.
Yeah, actually, in episode 6, you said...
Oh, God. That's why I hate editing. Yeah. But so when you're going from one book to the next, and that's just one little thing, and then you've got like a whole raft of other stuff going on that you've got to remember. So it's why they're... I think in future, I will probably just never write a book in a series again.
Yeah.
Or make them more standalone-y, I think. When you're trying to write books in a series that actually where the stories interconnect, that is an absolute ball ache.
That is tight, that is hard. I'm not super into it. I think we said this before. It's like, do people prefer series or standalones? I don't know.
Well, what I think is what people like is they like certain characters. So if you can take that character and just put them in a completely new story... You've got the best of both worlds there. You're not having to tie the whole thing together, but they get the characters that they know and they like. And
that's true. That's what Clement does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I'm going, which leads me to it's not an announcement because this is a pre-announcement. But my next book is my 20th, and that's the one that I wanted to be a sort of a kind of a landmark book.
Yeah, I mean, that is significant.
Yeah, so I've got an idea which has been brewing now, percolating, and the reason why I'm going to America next month is...
okay.
I will learn more to say on that down the line. But for now, that's my happy ending.
Very good.
So I guess any other business, or should we just piss off? And
we've gone a bit long, so let's go and do our weekly shopping.
Yay!
I'm going to swear at people in the car park, and I'm going to be parking very far away. and because get your step count.
Cork.
yeah. Good idea. And drive to Cork and then walk back to Tesco's.
I bet you somebody would still park right next. You could be in a
field, yeah.
Oh dear. Right. Well, listen, please, if you've got anything to say, any feedback, you know where we are on the socials. Just look up Middle Raged. You can go to our pointless web form, middleraged.uk/contact. Or you can buy us a coffee if you like. We're always open for a coffee.
Open for coffees.
Always open, 24/7.
That's it. Anytime
don't even have to get out your car.
That's it. Yeah, you can do it from the car,
from the toilet,
from the bed,
literally.
I reckon.
Just keep the noise down.
How much? What percentage of people have bought coffees on the toilet?
Well, this is the thing. Right? If you would like to buy us a coffee whilst, no, I don't think we should go down this route, really, shouldn't we? No, okay, sorry,
maybe not.
Let's step back away.
Maybe you're in the bath or the shower,
okay.
or
equally, I think we should step away from that as well.
The park.
Yeah, that's we don't want because then you'd have to have proof, wouldn't you? And
oh no, okay, no.
Yeah,
in the park. Let's say that you're on a walk in the park. You sit down on a bench, out of the way. And that's where you buy the coffee.
Perfect. Right. And on this spring day, and you might be a little bit too warm or a little bit too chilly. You want that? Yeah. We should call it the Goldilocks season, really, shouldn't we?
That's right.
Because you're always just a little bit too warm or a little bit too chilly. Never quite right.
Well, I've got this weird thing where I'm always too hot. So like everyone's like, oh, it's bloody freezing. I'm like, nah, not really.
Oh, wow.
I'm a weirdo.
Maybe it's some sort of low-key sort of superpower that you're unaware of.
That must be it.
Here comes Sweat Man.
Warm man. Yeah.
Look at his pits.
Oh, geez.
I will. Oh, God. You avert a hold up in a bank by just lifting your arm and letting the...
Oh, Christ. Oh, dear.
Right. Okay.
Right. I think I've got better have a shower.
Yeah, we've overrun again. So I'm going to wrap this thing up. So thank you very much if you've reached this far. This has been episode 22 of the Middle Age podcast. Until next time.
Bye bye.
Oh, well, nice pause there for you, and you didn't step into it.
I didn't.
Bit fucking rude.
I missed that, didn't I?
Right.
Yeah.
Should we try again?
Take it easy, chaps. Yeah, let's try again.
Until next time.
Bye bye from me.
Lacked enthusiasm, but we'll run with it. Yeah, okay. Bye. See ya.